Guess what I got? Something that very few people in Australia can get. Over there's a box with Bontrager written on it. And last week, some new Bontrager Aeolus carbon fibre wheels were launched in the States. I was expecting a pair, but we weren't expecting them quite so soon. So, this is actually a little bit of a hen's tooth unboxing, so to speak. And by that I mean, I've got some wheels that are basically very, very rare in this country. And I haven't got them for very long. So I'm going to rip in, unbox them, get some tyres on them, put them on my bike, go for a ride, compare them with my Zip 303s, and then I'm going to cast my memory back to the Aeolus RSL 37s that were on a Trek M-Onda test bike from last June, that I also transferred over to that bike just to see how they'd go, and I was super impressed. It actually made me realise the incredible impact that a good set of wheels will have on a bike. And apparently the new ones are entirely redesigned. And by that I would say, I'm making a guess based on current trends in the cycling market, that we're going to see the internal width of the rim broaden. And surely these rims will accommodate bigger bag tyres, because that's another trend of the industry in 2021. To be truthful, it's the ride qualities that are going to make most of this test. And I won't have very long with them because they've got to go to bike shops and start doing the circuit of Australia to show off what is on its way from Wisconsin. Bontrager products have been fantastic for years. The RSL 37s that I had on the test bike were a really impressive set of wheels. So let's rip into it. What do I see here? I see tubeless tape. Oh, they are light. Oh, this is my first sighting, so you saw my impression when I put that out of the box. It was super duper light. I better make sure I get the scales out and get ready, because I think I'm going to be pretty bloody impressed. So, there we go. Got my glasses handy, so I'll be able to read you what I'm being told. And I think that these sorts of things that come with the wheels in a modern world are highly relevant, because they explain some of the detail about them. But let's have a look at the wheel first before I start reading any brochures. So there you go. RSL 62. Can you guess what the 62 relates to? Yeah, it's this. It's the height of the rim, okay? They're a lot deeper than I'm used to. I have ridden deep rims before. They don't have that big flangey flare that the Envies have, but they do have a couple of little leak holes. The hubs are insanely rudimentary, or at least that would be the appraisal upon first sighting. Like, there's really quite simplified. I'm going to read to you about this. Damage your wheel, we'll replace it. Ooh, beauty. Aeolus RSL 62 TLR disc front road wheel. So optimum compaction low void, OCLV. We've known that for a very long time. I think I first rode an OCLV bike in 1993, and how things have changed since then. So they're suggesting that the front wheel is 700 grams. And I can tell you the measurements is this one here on the external is 31 mil, on the internal 23 mil, which is pretty much in keeping with current trends. Doesn't tell me a great deal more than that, just says that. RSL, you want to know what that stands for? Race Shop Limited. And I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but there's a really beautiful bit of carbon weave in there, and you can see a seam there. And there's the leak hole that I was talking about earlier. Hope that makes sense. I'm sure that's what it's there for. Just a little bit of drainage, should some fluid get in there by accident. I'll tell you more as I learn about them. I'm just trying to grab something, see if something grabs my attention, but at the moment nothing does. So let's weigh them, because that's a bit of a talking point. The brochure that I just threw on the ground said that it's meant to be 700 grams for the front wheel. That's completely raw, if you don't mind, so no sealant, no tape, no rotor, and no tyre, obviously. So just tipping the scales at 2 grams above the, it oscillated, it went to 701, and now it's on 701, so it's actually 1 gram heavier than promoted. I think that's pretty close to spot on, actually. So absolutely no complaints, beautiful. What have we got here? Cross 1, 2. So that's your lacing pattern. Anyone built a wheel of late? I certainly haven't, but I think it'd be a terrific thing to do. Front wheel done, 701 grams. Let's get on to the back wheel, shall we? Exciting times. And I know Trek were pretty keen on this. There are always embargoes going on. We did a long presentation earlier in April where we got to ask questions about all of the method, what the logic was, and basically get told that bigger is better. And I was a little bit surprised when Mark from Trek turned up and he gave me some tyres and tubes. I said, like, what are you doing? Well, I don't need tubes. We're living in 2021, buddy. He said, oh, you want to run tubeless? I said, yeah, of course, that's the revolution of 2021. That's what we've got to do. And I'm into it, and I love it. And I haven't had a puncture since I've actually had punctures, but I haven't had to worry about them. I haven't repaired them roadside. So, if nothing else, that's a big, big, big selling point for me for tubeless. It feels light, and that's the rear wheel. And you can guess that it's 62, so yeah, another deep dish. And a hub without what I'd asked for. So it's come with a free hub body for Shimano. So once again, the old SRAM loses out. Even though Trek's got a really, really tight association with SRAM, I didn't get the XDR driver, so I'm a little bit frustrated by that. What can I do? Nothing. I'll just go to Clarence Street and say, hey, buddy, can you fix that up for me? And also, I wanted them ready to ride, so I'm going to go to the shop and get some more rotors, because that's what I need on account of them being disc ready wheels. And there's no disc rotors for me to stop with. Like, I could ride them like this, but it'd be treachery because I wouldn't be able to stop. That'd be a bummer. I do remember going to Wisconsin. As I've talked about in the past, I went in 2017 and we spent a bit of time in the wheel workshop, and actually long enough to sit there and watch a few factory workers just banging the spokes in and getting the wheels ready and then zipping them up and lacing them by hand, and it was pretty unreal fun. I really got a lot out of it just because it's a cathartic experience to watch people build wheels. It's unreal. In other words, from my understanding, these suckers, the RSLs, the Race Shop Limited, are in fact built in Wisconsin. Not just designed there and then sent off to be done in Asia. Anyway, to be honest, that was a pretty quick unboxing. I was expecting a whole lot of marketing guff and brochures and stuff about warranties, and I didn't get any of that. But what I can do is weigh the rear wheel, which in my appraisal shouldn't be too far off the front wheel, because it's only got that little bit of extra bulk, and they don't weigh terribly much, and that one's coming off anyway. That's a Shimano system, and I'll put the XDR one on shortly. 820 grams for the rear, completely raw, no sealant, no cassette, no rotor, no tyre. Ta-da! I think they're going to look, what do you think that is? Ooh, black on 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 black, except for the white. Hey, that's going to be great. That's that. Unboxed, ready to the workshop. I'll probably be talking to a tall bearded bloke called Peter, who does terrific work, and he doesn't mind having a chat, so I'll find out a lot more from him. See you later.